So one of the most difficult things to deal with as a surveyor, personally, before coming to work for Leica, and then also one of the things that I hear so much now in my current role, is that getting data from various clients and various sources and various data types, and then having to go utilize that in the field can be very difficult, very challenging. I remember staying up until 10 o'clock at night working the night before a staking request, and the field crew had to go on the field and prepping files, prepping data. Bert, you have some good solutions. It sounds like that can maybe help us simplify, streamline, uh, help that process.
Help that.
Help me, Bert.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Like, how do you deal with all of that, all of those different sources, data sources and data types?
Yeah. It really depends on the type of design data we're working with, but like for the course of this data set that I'm working with today, it's road data, right?
Okay.
So with these type of this plan information that we end up having, again, we have ways to be able to take plan information and digitize it if needed, but a lot of times now we're seeing digital files being handed around. And the bad part about that is they're varied, right? It might be a DXF, it might be a DGN, it might be, an XML, it might be anything. So maybe we'll look at some data now to kind of, outline kind of that workflow. And again, we'll look at some standardized files.
What if you have multiple types of data?
With multiple types of data, we just bring them in as long as we have an importer for it, which we have most, if not all. We can grab them, bring it into Infinity, and then there it becomes a Leica piece of data that we can then use kind of anywhere inside of our ecosystem.
Okay.
Right? So what we'll do is we'll just kind of take a look at Infinity here. I did have something previously imported. It was as a DWG. It was a topo from 2015.
You did some topo in 2015?
It wasn't me. It came. It came from, might not even been that exact date. It was handed off to me by Brian Honeycutt, one of our sales reps. He had done some work in a
But it's real data.
life. It's real data. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is real topo data that was used.
Okay.
So what we have ended up having here is we have some line work from just down the street from our office in Atlanta. So I just kind of cut off some data, and I did a road design in Civil 3D. I just did a corridor design, a very simplified one. Again, it's not a big, crazy data set, but it allows us to at least visualize the information, the workflow that we'd have. The nice part is we are able to edit these. So we bring them in, we can validate the information against the plan data that the paper plans that we might have or any other digital plans that we might have. And we can make any changes if there are things that come in incorrectly. So we can verify it quickly, make any changes, and then have something just as simple as this as an alignment ready for.
Why would you need to change perfection?
Exactly. Well, it was my design, so it's far from perfection, I can tell you that. All right. Okay. So what we end up having
I love that you can drag and drop it.
Yeah. Drag and drop, pop it in.
For some reason, I thought Leica data was the only one that you could drag and drop into the.
Nope, we can do most things. Again, there's some settings early on that you do have to set up.
Just like the DVX.
Yeah, you drag and drop and away you go. And again, but there are other types of data. Again, it isn't just XML that we can drag and drop. What we have here is we have DWGs, DXFs, but one that we do see often from customers is that they're just provided they export out of a design file a DXF. So there's some 3D line work or maybe 2D line work available, and they want to be able to use that out in the field. Okay. And again, we can take this DXF and drop it right or attach it right into Captivate, but it makes it easier to visualize and verify any of the information inside of Infinity that it is out in the field, because we can add in more data here and get better idea of what might be around in visualization. So
I don't know that I've met a client or a design engineer that I trusted enough to just simply send their design straight to the field without ever checking it or doing any kind of QC.
Yeah, and we do have some tools inside of Infinity to allow us to do that and make it easier for ourselves, right? So there's our design that I put together. Again, it's not very fancy. It's just a 2-lane road with a median and a couple of sidewalks, a very basic assembly inside of Civil 3D to develop a corridor, and then some 3D line work from DXF was exported out. All right, so that's in there now.
Looks good. It looks like a road design.
Yeah, it looks like a road design. We would end up being able to take this and push this out as well, but a lot of things that we do see, especially in the machine control world, we see surfaces being provided to the end users, right?
Yep.
So what I'll do is I'll also bring in a surface here, and we can visualize that. So drag and drop, and then we see the surface here.
It's just showing off now.
Exactly. So I can go into 3D view, and what we see is some curbing, some sidewalks, some paved surface, a median. Like, again, nothing fancy, but it's nice and visual, and we can see that information.
Yep.
Right. I'll just turn off a few things though, and we'll show you how we can bundle this information. So this information is now here, and we can use it. And we can consume it in different ways. But I'm just going to turn off the surface.
Now you have 3 different data types, 3 different data sets that you've imported into this file, into this project.
All from the same design, but exported in different ways to kind of show the variety of what can be consumed by Infinity.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to take this data here now, these 3D lines, and we're going to make a road data set out of this that we can use directly in the field. Okay. So I'll just select all of these lines, and it's just really easy and as simple as a single button press here to develop a road. So we're going to take all this information, and we're going to create a road infrastructure job from it. So we have this design here with all of these string lines available to it. And all I really need to do now is just assign that alignment or select one of the lines to be the alignment for this project.
Okay.
Right? I can add start station. I do other types of things I might want to verify. But again, we hit apply, and now I have this data available again for me, ready to be used. One thing that is also very handy here is being able to compare it against the surface, because the line work was done separately than the surface that was designed or developed and provided to us. So there's a really cool feature that we have.
So you can't necessarily compare your DTM to your lines, right?
So the imported DTM, I could turn that in or turn that on, and I could compare that line work directly.
Check, right?
It'd be a visual check, and you'd be able to look and see, and you could see that line work or select that line work and see it's in the right spot. But if we wanted to get a little bit more depth from that, what we can end up doing is we have the line work, we've developed a road. There's an easy way to create a material surface, and that material surface just creates a new surface from the line work. So it's an independent data set. And we can compare these two surfaces together to make sure that, one line wasn't exported incorrectly. It came from a different revision, something like that. It allows us to be able to say, hey, this is the working surface that the machines are using. This is the working surface that we're going to be using and verifying, either staking or checking out in the field on the survey side.
And they fit. Yeah.
And so I just come here to my surfaces option, go to my comparison map, and I just have to make sure I select my, my surface that came directly from CAD. I select the surface that was developed inside of Infinity, and then I have an option here to select any type of step that I'd have for any differences. Let's make it really small and see if there is any differences here. So I'll go 0, 1, hit OK, and then hit create, and we'll end up getting this comparison map. So it's just taking the two surfaces and seeing if there's any differences between the two.
Okay.
To see that, I just have to turn off the surfaces, and away we go, right? So what you'll see here is it's pretty much white all over, which means that there's a little bit of subtle color in there. So there's a little bit of change, a little subtle color. But what it means here, because it's white, and the design surface that we developed independently in Infinity match perfectly. You want to
now I want to send it to my crews and have them do the construction staking.
Okay, perfect. Well, to do that, we just have to export this data and kind of push it out to our field crews. And the way we're doing that is just selecting the infrastructure data here.
Okay.
I'm going to export and going to
So you're sending them the actual road design here?
Yeah, sending out just the road design, because I'm able to select what I want. So it's going to be infrastructures and the material surfaces. And what we're going to do is we're going to send it through GeoCloud Drive out to the crew, so they can just get it whenever they need it from the cloud.
Magic.
Okay? So we're going to go to field here, and this is my GeoCloud Drive. Again, I could select it from here as well, but this is my favorite. It allows me to get there quick. And I just hit export. It's going to bundle up this information and send it directly out to the cloud inside the GeoCloud Drive project for use in the field. All right, we're going to go show you what this data looks like in Captivate.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. It's too hot out here today. Let's just do something quick with the GPS. All right, we got the job set up. All we need to do is get the GeoCloud Drive data. It's coming down. And we're ready to go. All we have to do is drop this data into our project. So here we have our DTM, here we have our road design. And if we look in our 3D viewer, We are ready to
wow.
go.
Looks good.
Yep, exactly like we saw back in the office.
Yeah, exactly like
we're ready
Infinity.
to go.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
Okay,
let's
what do
start
you want to
working
do?
with the data.
Watch out for the tree.
Watch your tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is already a built road, so we're not going to look at stake road right away. We have a whole stake road application. What we're going to do is we're going to look at check road. So that's what we can use to kind of check our kind of as built against a road.
Okay.
So what we can do is just set you up here with the design data. I just throw in the 3D view because that's the way I like to look at it. And you can see us here inside the design, right?
Oh, beautiful.
The nice part, hold down this button here, it'll jump right to us. And again, there's the GSO5, and we're inside the design and we're ready to work.
Awesome.
All right. Do you want to start doing a little bit of a kind of an as-built here and a check on the design? So let's go ahead down to station number 300. And the way you get there is the info page.
So switch to info.
Yeah, it's going to show us the station, and we're just going to walk down to station. Yeah.
This looks really good. Is there a way that I can switch to cross-section view?
Sure can. That's the one I use a lot.
Okay.
It's actually the one I like to visualize the most. So I can just check the eyeball at the top, go into cross-section view, and what you'll see here is the ability to
that's perfect. Yeah.
See it in the cross-section. We can zoom in, zoom out, but I also like to hit that button there. It's going to center us on it. We're going to be able to walk, and it'll follow us across the cross-section.
All right.
Yep. So let's just get measuring.
Okay. So I'm going to shoot back a walk.
Yep.
Beautiful. Front of walk.
Excellent.
Top face curb.
I'll keep an eye out for traffic for you.
I appreciate that. Got our flow line. Whip. How's it look?
Looking good. We're good to go.
Flip again. Flow line. Top curb. Top curb again. How's the traffic?
Traffic's good.
Got our flow line.
Car's coming, but we'll be able to make it by.
Nice timing. Flip. Got a flow line again. Top face curb. Front of walk. And back a walk.
Perfect. So we got this one cross section.
Nice.
Again, what we could do is look at some cut sheet information here and be able to see if it compares, how well it compares in the field.
Okay.
But right now, let's get more of this data and just take it back into the office. So let's go up to 250 and get another cross section.
50 footer. Let's do it. How's that?
243, pretty close.
Yeah.
You're pacing this way a little bit.
You distracted me.
I know.
Caused me to lose count.
Exactly.
How dare you? That means I'm out of practice. All right, back a walk.
Yeah.
Front a walk. Top face curb. Go to flow line. Traffic. Lip.
Looks good. Again, the nice thing about the GSO5, if we were just doing the curbs or the edge of the road or the median, we could walk down the median and not have to get into traffic. So it's kind of nice using that tilt.
How's the traffic?
Traffic's good.
Lip. Flow line. Top face curb. Front walk. I feel like I need a topo shoe. Back walk.
Let's finish up these last couple cross sections and we'll go ahead to lunch.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good to me.
Lunch.
All right, Russ, we just came back in from the field. Do you want to take a look at the data?
Sure.
So here's some of the data that we got out in the field and uploaded to a GeoCloud Drive. I'll just grab that and import, and it's going to bring that data directly in. All right.
Beautiful.
So in just a couple seconds, we'll be able to see our data source report. Our data source report is like a
alternative to field notes.
Yeah, an electronic field notes. It's just bundle some stuff in a way that we can see it easy in a HTML develop report to allow us to save to a PDF. And then we can use that as records or save it or do whatever we'd like to do it. I'll just save it and we can look at it later if we'd like to. So what we end up having here is we have our data. So we're using, like we saw in the field, we're using the check to layer. So we ran through this out in the field. This is the check to layer job data that we're using and stored. And now we can use this check layer to kind of develop additional reports or just for visualization inside of Infinity.
I think what we need to do, typically you would check this in the field, do some verification, maybe do some staking. You might interact with the crews on site in real time, right?
Yep.
But for my reporting, I would like to create some kind of record of what we did in the field, right? So probably a cut sheet and then also maybe a comparison map.
Okay, so the first thing here is for the cut sheet, there's a couple of different ways that we can do it. Again, we can develop, there's some standardized style sheets that we can just do a direct export. But one of the ones that a lot of people don't think about is this one in the inspector. We can come and look under infrastructure to our checked infrastructure, and it's going to show me all my points, right? So I have my point ID, I have cuts and fills. I can, again, I can take this data and I can move it around, put my headers in different spots, and I can set up the report that I'd like to have or this table of data the way I'd like to have it.
Okay.
Again, if it's too much data, I can just right click and go select columns, and I can add or remove any type of data that I have in here.
I like that.
All right. So you just pick what you want to see.
I like a nice clean cut sheet. Right?
Exactly.
If I'm exporting a cut sheet, I don't need to see all of this other nonsense.
Yeah, extra stuff, right?
That's right.
Like if we don't care what the layer offset is, we can just go to select column here and we can just remove that, right? If we just care about
basic
height difference.
Cut fills, I think.
Yeah. So
you could do layer height difference.
Yeah, we'll just layer height difference or whatever we want to have here. Okay, so we can turn some things off. But again, we don't need to dive into this in too much depth of turning things on off. Is you just want to go, once you have it set up the way you want it, how do I get it out?
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So what we'll end up doing is we just select the points that we want to have saved out.
Okay.
So I can just say all I was worried about was this amount of data.
Sure.
I select that data. I just right click and go save as, and it's going to create just a CSV. And again, we see users taking that CSV, opening up in Excel, and then you just copy paste into their own Excel template. Okay. Because a lot of users end up having one already, right? So,
yeah. They've got their own headers and it's all defined.
Yeah, it's all defined. So it's an easy and a quick way to be able to get something that they're already using. If they want to develop something that's a little more fancy, then they can use a style sheet or use other types of reporting. Okay. So I'll just call this cut sheet and export that out. Okay. We open that up and it's going to look just like you expect, right? Right. Pretty simple. Cut sheet. Yep. Cuts, fills, offsets, centerline stationing. That's pretty much it. The other thing that we do see people using from time to time are these comparison reports. Again, we didn't really get enough we didn't do any line work out there for break lines or anything. We're just too hot out there. So what we ended up doing was just measure a couple points, and we can create a comparison points just using points against a surface, let's say. So again, my design was not the greatest, so I already have to probably apologize for this.
Design engineers.
But we're going to just call this AB map 2, and I can pick my reference is going to be my design surface. So either the one that I imported or the one I did in Infinity. So for this exercise, I'm going to use points. Okay. Right? Again, in the previous one for the as-built against as-built, we use surface to surface. This time we're just using individual points. We're going to select the point features so we can just pick from our list. And we'll just pick all of our checked points here, hit OK. And then what we're going to end up doing is developing our ramping. And again, so 300s, let's give us a big range here because, again, my design is not the greatest against what was actually built there. So we're going to hit OK, and we're going to hit Create. We're going to have it pop up our additional comparison map here. Is that the one? There it is right there, because I did it against a different surface, so they're separated. Right. And again, we're not really going to see anything, really crazy here because we don't have a surface, so we don't get huge color mapping there. Again, we could have made a surface from this if we had additional information, right? Sure. But you can see that there is a little bit of information available in the view with some height toggles there. But what the best part about this is using the report.
Right.
So I can just select this AB map 2, my as-built map, come to my reports, go to my comparison map report, and we end up getting, and we don't get an image here, but we do get a breakdown of what is good and bad and what we could isolate here in the range of part of our cut and fill. Again, there's a lot of red there, and that's just because I'm not the best designer in the world. Okay. So that's really it. Again, it allows us to do this as well. We can save to a PDF, we can print this, we can do whatever we really need. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions about data prep or roading, feel free to comment below. Please like and subscribe. And until then, happy surveying.